It's a good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he missed it! It is! Peekaboo! Villa in the lead!
Good evening, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to the Villa Forever podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe and make sure to smash the like button on this video, and you can follow me on Spotify, Apple Music and Amazon Music. Let's spread awareness of Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This evening, I'm joined by my special guest, Football Confidential, a Tottenham fan from X. I'll be doing the match preview, FA Cup preview. It's fourth round, Aston Villa versus Tottenham. And on transfer deadline day, it was a very busy day for Aston Villa. As well as Marcus Rashford, we saw Marco Asensio from PSG and Disasi, who's a defender from Chelsea, and it was a very successful window and busy deadline for Monchi and Unai Emery. And Aston Villa beat in the last round, beat East London Premier League team West Ham United, and it's another London team to progress into the next round. And Aston Villa's very busy fixture schedule continues. On Sunday, it's a 5:35 p.m. kickoff. We return back to FA Cup action. I'm pleased to have you on the show, mate.
Yeah, happy to be on. Happy to be on. Support the show.
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy few days for both our teams, I think. Obviously, Tottenham are playing tonight, so looking forward to that. Quietly confident, but being a Spurs fan, you can't really. The confidence never lasts for very long. But yeah, hopeful, expecting the worst, but hoping for the best.
Well, tonight, it's a big game for Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real chance to get to the final. And I bet as a Tottenham fan, you want silverware?
Yeah, I think I've heard for years lots of Tottenham fans say, "Oh, I don't care what we do in the league. We could finish 16th, 17th. As long as we win a cup, I'll be happy."
Yeah.
And I keep making the point. If you are genuinely happy with that as a Tottenham fan, then you're going to go through pain and you're going to go through losses in the league, a lot of losses in the league. You don't finish bottom half of bottom half without losing a lot of games. So there is a lot of our fans at the moment kind of losing their minds a little bit about our league form and our position in the table. But unfortunately, that's what finishing bottom half and winning a cup looks like. So if you said a year ago you would be happy with that, then you've got to be happy with it now. Not necessarily happy with the league position, but accept it's the reality. And I do think to a certain extent, they won't admit it, but mentally they know they're not going to win the league. They know they're not going to get in the Champions League now through the league position. So it's very easy to check out mentally in that kind of, give 95% instead of 100%, and that's all it takes in the Premier League. But we're still going well in 3 cups, and a real chance for silverware, really, real chance.
Because some of the fan base are not very happy
No.
I've seen the last few weeks the Levy Out protests.
Yeah, I think I've never seen the momentum for that as strong as it is now. It got. I think there was a large, and there still is a large contingent against the manager. That's calmed down a little bit now, and a lot of those people, whilst not happy, they're still beating the drum about the anti-Levy, anti-ENIC campaigns and support, and that's a campaign that I fully support as well. My position with Levy and ENIC has always been like, I'm happy for them to stay as long as they prioritise football, but I just don't think they're going to prioritise football. It will always come second to everything else, and but you know, I live in hope that they will change, and if they don't change, they'll sell it on. But yeah, you're every home ground now, every home game, there's a protest, there's chants, banners, and for the Man U game, the next game, I think on the 16th, there's going to be an organised protest against the ownership, civilised protest. You know, it's important to do it in the right way. But I think the point is, this is something's got to change, because Daniel Levy keeps making the point. He doesn't listen to criticism. He doesn't listen to the noise and the negativity. But ultimately, in any business, you've got to listen. You have to listen. It's been 25 years, 24 years, one trophy, 16 managers. You can't keep doing the same thing. Yeah.
You got to listen. Yeah, exactly.
Or don't charge us as much. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it your way, and you know, if you want to take the approach that you're right and we're all wrong, then don't keep charging us the most expensive tickets in Europe. Don't keep putting up prices, removing the OAP concessions, and no doubt other concessions will go soon as well. You know, you can't have it both ways.
Let's talk about Sunday. So what do you expect from Villa versus Tottenham?
All else being equal, I'd be very confident, quite frankly. Aston Villa fans may not want to hear that, or they may think I'm a bit arrogant, but the last 3 or 4 games, well, actually all the games under Ange Postecoglou, we've done pretty well. I think we won the last one 4-1, was it? The one before that 4-0.
I want to forget about that.
Yeah, but even the one before that, which you guys won 2-1, I can't remember if we were 1-0 up in it, but we were certainly pretty dominant in that first half.
And you beat us 4-0, I think, was it last season?
Yeah, 4-0 last season. Like the first game last season was 2-1 to you, but I think we were. Aston Villa fans may disagree, and I don't want to like annoy Aston Villa fans on an Aston Villa podcast, but I think we were pretty good. We were pretty good value for a win or at least a draw in that game. I think we were the better team, but we couldn't put away our chances. But in the last 2 games, we've certainly shown. I think tactically we set up quite well against you, but on the flip side of that is you guys have got you've got a few injuries, haven't you? But we're just ravaged with injuries at the moment, and I think we are. You've got a week off. I think
you've got extra rest, Leo.
Yeah, you've got extra rest. We're playing tonight. Could go to extra time tonight in penalties. We could pick up more injuries. I don't know if Van der Ven will be back for Sunday. He's definitely not playing tonight. So yeah, we're ravaged by injury. We are prioritising the cup, so maybe I think we'll make a better show of it than we would in the league right now. But I think that extra few days rest is going to it's gold dust, isn't it? So I don't know. It's a 50-50 for me, quite frankly, on Sunday. But again, quietly confident. But you know, there's a few things going against us at the moment, and Aston Villa are a good team as well. So.
Well, I did say that on Sunday it's a complete sellout. A complete allocation.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because the allocations are different for the FA Cup, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are, aren't they? Yeah.
I think if it was a league game, there'd be well, our away support is pretty good, but if it was a league game at home, certainly for us, there'd be a few more empty seats, I think, because there's a lot of ill feeling with the unless people turn up to protest and with our league form. But for the cups, I think all the Tottenham fans are really we're going well in the Europa. We've got a semi tonight. We could be in a final come Sunday, and we're thinking, well, yeah, get past Villa on Sunday. Arsenal are already out. You don't know who else might be out by then. Is a cup treble on? We could live in the fantasy for a little bit longer.
Say, yeah. But I'm thinking this game, it's going to be interesting how this game plans out. And obviously in this game, there's going to be some changes to the lineup, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys you'll probably, I don't know when your next league game is. I think you've got another week off after, haven't you? So
Yeah.
I think you'll go full strength, but you might try out some of your new players. We may have to rotate if we can a little bit, depending on how tonight goes and who plays and for how long. Hopefully Van der Ven will be back. I think Romero.
The Van der Ven is crucial to the way Tottenham play.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's a good ball playing centre back.
He is quick. If you're going to play a high line, you need that pace at the back. We've just brought in another quick centre back, so that's good. I don't know if he'll start tonight, but he may have to.
He's got a lot of pace.
Yeah, if Van der Ven is back, we could pair him with Kevin Danso, and that'll be a quick centre back pairing. So my confidence will be a bit higher then, but and obviously Van der Ven won't play tonight, and Kevin Danso I don't think will play the full 90, 120. So he'll have a lot in the tank for Sunday still. So I think Ben Davies.
I'm looking forward to the atmosphere.
Yeah, tonight will be great atmosphere at Anfield.
On Sunday.
And on Sunday, yeah, it'll be good. Villa fan. I used to. Funny enough, the first Premier League ground I went to was Villa Park.
What?
Yeah, because I used to live near Birmingham in my when I was a kid, and so we used to get tickets. Had to sit in the home end, the home areas of the ground, and try not to celebrate when we scored, but or had to join in with the celebrations when Villa scored, but which was a bit weird experience. But I did it through gritted teeth. But
there's a real chance on Sunday to see our new signings.
Yep. You made a few, didn't you? Both teams made a few. Yeah, both teams made a few.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford.
Mm-hmm.
I think Marco Asensio. They'll make their debuts, I think. But I did say that Disasi for Chelsea's cup tied.
Is he cup tied, is he? Oh, right. Okay, I didn't realise that. Well, that's good for Tottenham and not so good for you.
But we got Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, he's not cup tied, is he? I don't think.
No, he's not cup tied, no.
Asensio obviously isn't. Tottenham were linked to Asensio a few years back. It seemed like we were linked every window at one point. And then he went to when he was at Real Madrid. But he ended up at PSG, didn't he? And you've got him now. You've got them both on loan, is that right? You've got them both on loan.
Loan deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Villa Park. They'll give a good reception.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Asensio is a good player. He back in the day, he was one of Real Madrid's best players back in the day.
Well, so that he won the Champions League
yeah,
3 times.
yeah. League titles as well. So that sort of experience, you can't. It's absolutely worth its weight in gold. I always think.
That's what
Tottenham
you
haven't.
need.
Yeah, Tottenham haven't got enough of that. I've been saying that for years now. That under the great Poch team that won nothing, if they could have just added a couple of those sorts of players, like a Thiago Silva or Sergio Ramos, or that sort of player to the team, or someone in midfield, someone that's like a Chiellini, somebody like that, who knows how to get the team over the line to win something.
Leader.
Yeah, a leader, someone that's good in the dressing room. It raises standards as well because everyone on the pitch, they want to impress that sort of player. If you've got that sort of player in your team, they kind of think, okay, this guy's won Champions League, so I want to. It's a personal pride kind of thing, if you know what I mean. And I think over the years, Tottenham brought Edgar Davids, and he helped us get Champions League or European qualification. Well, no, he didn't help us get Champions League, but he got us over the line for Europe and pushing for that top four. Like under Joel, we really made a step up. But the signing that did get us Champions League, I always say it's a completely underrated signing, was back in the day under Redknapp, the first time we made Champions League. Redknapp signed Ida Gudjohnsen, and he was just perfect for us because he came on late in games, played the last 20 minutes, and just just stroked the ball around. He'd been with Chelsea, Barcelona. He knew
him.
Yeah, he knew how to do it. He just got us over. There were games when it was like 2-1 to Tottenham, and he just came on and just settled and calmed things down and turned a couple of 1-1s into 2-1s. And he was just like, it wasn't flashy, but it was just like a good head in the changing room, if you know what I mean. And I think those sorts of players stop you bottling stuff, if you know what I mean. So they don't. I think they're worth their weight in gold. Really, I'm not. I don't know if Asensio will have that sort of impact for you, but he's got the pedigree, hasn't he? So that's all you can hope for, really.
And I think as well, been sort of playing the Carabao Cup. I think on Sunday, potentially, it could affect your performance levels.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like especially if we go to extra time tonight. If like Liverpool win 1-0 and it goes to another half hour, then Archie Gray's 18 and he's collapsing at 90 minutes every time the whistle goes. He's just dead on his feet. He collapses. He's absolutely exhausted. He's an 18-year-old. So imagine how the rest are feeling. And I just think we're threadbare at the moment. If you're fit, you play. And the other week we had 7 players in training. Everybody else was injured or ill, and then they played the game the following day. I just don't. Quite frankly, I think the game should have been called off that weekend. But if you don't call off a game when you've only got 7 fit players. But we managed to get 11 players on the pitch. We're not fielding full benches. I think we are now, but recently we went through a patch of not even filling our bench. And when you've got 8 players on the pitch and then another 3 who are not fit or carrying illness, it's just not safe. Those matches should be, you've seen other teams get games postponed for less. There seems to be an apprehension. I know they strengthened the rules, so maybe they're scared of a points deduction or something. But I keep saying Ange Postecoglou is actually doing pretty well, not by not getting beat 4-0 every game, quite frankly, during that patch. We were only losing games by single goals and quite often taking the lead in some of those games. So he's, despite the poor run and we keep losing games, he's actually doing, considering everything. Holding it together quite well. I certainly under, like, if you go back to AVB and other managers, when it started to turn, we've been getting beat 5-0, 6-1 and stuff like that under the end of under Stellini and the dregs of the AVB era. We were fielding fully fit teams and still getting beat 5-0. So, just to lose 2-1 and 1-0 and 3-2 and stuff like that to teams battling, it's not good. It's not good, but it's not. I think it's got to be placed into context, I think, a little bit.
And in the last round, at Tottenham, Tamworth guy, Tottenham a bit of a scare.
Yeah. We, I think that's the one game where a lot of fans, even if you're backing the manager, you're kind of saying that's not good enough. He did, like, Pedro Porro played 120 minutes when he was our only right back. There's no reason he should have played. He could have played that. We could have played.
But in that game, you brought your big guns on to win the game.
Yeah, at the end. But there's no reason, like Lancashire, Will Lancashire, he's on loan at West Brom at the moment. But Ange Postecoglou started him away at Galatasaray in the Europa League. So he trusted him to do that, but he didn't trust him to start against Tamworth. It just didn't make sense to me, really. And we didn't have a recognised striker, really. I think we played Son and Werner up front. But he should have played Lancashire. It was an error on his part. He's not faultless. I back the manager, but he's not faultless. I think he got the team selection wrong that day, and Pedro Porro shouldn't have played. He played awful, and he was knackered as well. It just gave him 2 hours of football that he didn't really need, really. And Tamworth, yeah. We should have beaten them 4-0. We really should have, but yeah, that wasn't good. But we got through. We got through, and we got rewarded with a plum tie against Newcastle. The sort of tie we didn't want, but never mind.
I bet you're relieved.
Well, we were relieved to get through. Yeah. Keep the dream alive. Well, I speak to my brother about the FA Cup. We haven't made even a final of the FA Cup since 1991, and when we won the FA Cup in 1991, we held the record for most FA Cup wins. Eight FA Cup wins in 91 it was a record back then, and we haven't even made the final since then. Back then there was a sort of gimmick that Tottenham always won a trophy in a year ending in one. Well, Enoch and Daniel Levy has just completely ruined that, because we didn't win anything in 2001, we didn't win anything in 2011, and we didn't win anything in 2021 either. So that was a nice little run that came to an end under this ownership as well. But we haven't even had a day out. We haven't even had a day out at Wembley since 91. So we've had a few Carabao Cups or Worthington Cups, and Carling Cups.
Last time, was it 2008?
That was the last time we won it. Yeah, we
won the trophy.
Yeah, beat Chelsea. Then made the final the following year and lost to Man U. And then we made the final in 2020. Was it 2020? 2021. Yeah. And we made the final in 2002, I think. It was 2001 or 2002. I think 2002. Les Ferdinand missed a load of chances. Got beat by Blackburn. Of course, we made the final under Pochettino as well. Got beat by Jose Mourinho's Chelsea as well. So,
as a Villa fan, I know how you feel. We haven't won the FA Cup since 1957.
Is it that long? Oh, right. I didn't realize. I thought you'd won, because I know you've won a few League Cups, haven't you?
The FA Cup 7 times.
You won the two big ones as well, obviously.
What's amazing is, in 1957, when we last won it, that was the 7th time.
Oh, a bit similar to Yeah. You probably feel the same as me then. That back then you won it the 7th time, record holders probably back then.
And then
And then
obviously
you've
the trophy.
and not. I don't know how many times you've made the final since then.
And 96, the Coca-Cola Cup.
Mm,
We won the League Cup then.
yeah, that stopped Man U doing the treble, didn't it? That did.
Yes,
think.
it did.
Yeah.
Also, going back to the game,
Mhm.
on Sunday, I think we might start Daniel Marlin. Only thing
Yeah,
against Wolves, he made a real impression in the second half.
yeah. He's a good player. I was quite when I saw Villa linked with him, I was thinking, well, why not Tottenham in for a player like that? We need a sort of we need a right winger like that. But he's a useful player, isn't he? And
Yes.
he'll be your doggy won't be back, so he'll probably be up against Jed Spence again. You'll be up against Jed Spence at left back probably on
And
Sunday.
he's done really well, he has.
Oh yeah.
That's a good shift in.
Yeah, I think if he plays well tonight and gets us to a final, I think an England call-up will be due. I don't know when the next England squad gets announced, but he's playing so well in that position. Man of the match last time. It'll be just reward really for his effort. He bided his time. He didn't speak out of turn. It would have been very easy for him to run down the club, but he never did that. Kept quiet. He's a good lad from what I gather. Worked hard, went on the loans, did his time, waited for his chance, and he's taken it grabbed it with both hands. And
he's always very calm.
Yeah, and he's an athlete as well. He's big, he's tall, he's strong. Not the finished product yet. Sometimes, but all young players do. He's not young, but he's not a 29-year-old seasoned pro. I think he's 24. I think.
I don't think
early
as well.
20s.
On Sunday, we need to keep Son and Kunaveski quiet.
Yeah, if they play, they may be knackered after tonight.
The place and creativity. They seem to unlock defences.
Yeah, Son. I keep hearing Son's having a bad season. He's not the best version of Son Heung-min.
No, he definitely not.
But he's not a young man anymore. I think he's 33 now. But he's showing flashes. I thought he had a decent game against Brentford myself. Not outstanding, but decent. He's basically got us the first goal with a great corner. And he showed flashes. He's become a more creative player this season. Less goals, but more creative. But he's still got 13 goals and assists this season, which is more than any other player in the team.
Impressive,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, he's still our main goal threat based on stats. And he'll always be a threat. He'll always be a threat. The thing I think the thing that people are noticing the most is when he's through on goal now, he's not quite as clinical as he used to be. There used to be a time when he was through, that's it. It was a goal every time. He's missing a couple of one-on-ones and stuff like that now, and not quite getting his shot off as early as he used to. But he's still a threat. And Kulusevski's been arguably our best player this season.
I really like him.
Oh yeah. Going forward, certainly his form's dropped off a little bit recently, but when he's on it, he's on it. He's a great player. If he plays centrally, that's definitely. And he can always get a goal or create something.
I did see actually that he gets goals, but he gets assists as well.
Oh yeah. He's got such an engine on him. I think that's a part of the game which people do talk about, but the
energy.
Yeah, the kind of casual viewer of Tottenham, they see him as a bit more of a creative player. But if you look at the stats, he's just constantly running, never gets tired, and he takes pride in it. He talks about it a lot. He said, I'm strong and fit, and I'm working on that constantly. He really takes personal pride in it. like generally believes that if the harder you work and the more you run, he'll outrun all opponents, and that's the sort of thing you want to hear, really. But he's not always on it. He's bit, like I said, his form's dropped a little bit recently, but in the cups he's been pretty good. So yeah, hopefully we'll see the best of him tonight and on Sunday.
I'm not sure actually. To make of your second goalkeeper, Kinski.
Yeah.
Kinski.
Yeah, he.
What do you think of him?
I like him. I really like him. Tottenham have got a few good goalkeepers now. None of us saw Austin in first team action play. He made his debut recently. He's been around the club for years. He's been kind of written off, but he came in due to the injury crisis, and he's done a solid job. Then we brought Kinski. He's come in. He's much better on crosses and set pieces than Vicario. He's much better with his feet than Vicario. I think people are saying Vicario is not so good with his feet, but he is very good with his short passing. I think he's all right, Vicario.
But these days,
he's a little bit. They get on his case a little bit, but I think he's much more. Yeah, he's much more. Vicario is much more better on the ball than Loris was. But Kinski is another level on top of that. I think Vicario is a better shot stopper, for sure. There's a couple of goals that have gone in recently, which I think I would have backed Vicario to save. So if you could put them together, you would have the perfect goalkeeper. But it depends what the threat is tonight. There's some rumours that Vicario may be fit and he may start, but I think it may be better to go with Kinski, and just because he's better on the set pieces. And what the fans don't want to see tonight is a 2-1 loss or a 2-0 loss and 2 corners, conceding from 2 corners, because then if Vicario starts, because then it'll be all the noise will be about, he shouldn't have been rushed back. Kinski's much better on the corners and the set pieces.
Kinski, I think we could put him under pressure.
When he's in possession, you mean? Yeah. I think Liverpool. Yeah, when he I can't remember which game it was. I think it might have been the first leg against Liverpool, or maybe the North London Derby. If he played in that, I think he did.
And sometimes, do you like dodgy clearances?
Well, what he does, he holds onto the ball a little bit too much. It's kind of like he did it a couple of times, and then it got into his head a little bit, as if to say, "Look, no, I'll show you. I can get away with this." And he kept pushing.
Oh yeah.
The margins just got finer and finer, if you know what I mean. And he got caught on the ball. And I think Dragerson had to actually say to him, "Look, just cut that out. Just clear it." And I think he's been better since then. It was almost as if he was trying to prove to us that he was good on the ball, better on the ball than everyone thought. But I think he's commanded the box, grabs the crosses, grabs the corners, grabs the set pieces. I think, as you say, he could be put under a little bit of pressure if he tries to take the P a little bit, or tries to overplay it a little bit at the back. But otherwise, I think he's pretty good on the ball.
And the thing is, he's not bad for a second choice.
Yeah. Well, he may be our first choice. When Vicario comes back, the view may be that we need him for the set pieces, and just to give Vicario a little bit more time and everything. But
as long as he can do the job.
Yeah, there have been rumours that Vicario is going to Juventus in the summer, and so if that happens, then he'll become our number 1 next season. We've got a couple of promising keepers coming through the youth ranks as well, so we should be okay in that position.
Let's talk about your manager. So, as a Tottenham fan, do you think you should stick with Ange Postecoglou?
Certainly, yeah, certainly for the short term. Because I still think, despite being in the semi-final tonight, it sounds crazy, but I still think our best chance at silverware. We're 1-0 up in the Carabao Cup semi-final.
Got
But
the advantage.
I still think our best chance of silverware is the Europa League, because the knockouts are miles away, ages away for us.
Oh yeah.
But by that time, we'll have most of our key players back. We'll be playing over 2 legs. We'll be playing, and a lot of European sides don't travel well. We don't travel well either, to be fair,
Yeah.
but a lot of European clubs don't. So over 2 legs, I back ourselves against them. We're seeded away from a lot of the better teams. For example, we can't play Man U until the final, for example. And I don't think there's a team in it better than Liverpool or Newcastle.
Okay.
Galatasaray, I think, are a threat. Man U are always a threat, obviously. But
I don't think actually.
I don't think they'll make a final. But
You win
I think
the Europa League.
we get in the
Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's still our best option, because I think we've still got to get past Liverpool tonight, and if we get past Liverpool, we've got to get past Newcastle. And I honestly don't think there's a team left in the Europa League which is better than either of those 2 sides. So that's why, and the Europa League, as you say, gets us Champions League. So I still think it's our best chance of silverware this season, and it gets us Champions League. And also, I think it's the best of the 3 trophies. It's the best trophy to win. Out of the cup. So I think the manager's got to be given this season. We're not going to get relegated. There's just too many.
Give him time.
Yeah, I think they've got to. I think they have to understand the context of the injuries. They've got to see, even if we crash out tonight and crash out on Sunday, give them the Europa League, see where we get there, and then take stock in the summer. And even if we don't win the Europa League, I think that's, if we don't win anything and we finish 16th or 15th or something like that, then I can see it going both ways. It can go, he could stay, he could leave. I think it'll be, I hope not, because I think he should be given a proper transfer window in the summer to give him a proper squad that won't get affected by injuries.
Bit under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and then start the season, then see how he goes. But if we win a trophy this season, then there's no way you should sack him, really. But
compared to the whole thing, you go back to last season. You put him better last season.
The problem was last season we started really well. We were top of the league after 10 games. And then we hit a load of injuries and suspensions. But the problem is, last season we went into the season with 2 proper centre-backs. Because once Van der Ven and Romero was out, we had Davies and Emerson playing there, who are reserve fullbacks. So we had no backup for centre-back at all. So we went into last season with two proper centre-backs and some make-dos. And so the fans were like, okay, we can't do this again. That's unacceptable. No wonder it all fell apart. And what do? This season, we went into this season with 3 centre-backs and some make-dos. But we had the extra competition. We didn't have Europe last season.
Yeah.
So we went into last season in 3 competitions with 2 centre-backs. This season, we went into 4 competitions with 3 centre-backs and some make-dos. I know Davies is playing there, but he wouldn't be the first choice centre back for any top club in the Premier League, in my opinion. He's a stalwart of the club. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He works really hard. I'm not going to knock him there, but he's not going to start for Man City, Arsenal,
but the big
Newcastle,
thing as well,
Villa.
Total inconsistency.
Well, the inconsistency comes with having to change the team every week because of injuries and because the players you are fielding are just absolutely knackered. That's the thing. People are saying, well, you lost to Ipswich and that looked like a pretty good team you had out there. And I'm like, yeah, well, all else being equal, those 11 players are pretty good, but they've been playing every 3 days. They've been playing every 3 days for the last 3 months. And
we have a lot of injuries.
some of them are carrying knocks. Some of them
Champions
some of
League.
them were actually ill.
You're not affected as Champions League football.
No, I think
mentally and physically.
Aston Villa fans must be like delirious this season. You know, you were top of the Champions League table for a long time,
Incredible.
weren't you? And you're still not too far off the Champions League places. It'll be top 5 this season that gets into the Champions League, possibly top 6, if depending on who wins which European trophy and stuff. But I think I looked at the table today. I think you're only 4 points off 5th, aren't you?
Something like that. Yeah, 4 points.
So what's that? That's 4 points is nothing with like 14 games left. So you could re-qualify for the Champions League because I think you'll finish above Bournemouth. I think Nottingham Forest will probably fall away as well. So you'll finish above both of them. That puts you into 6th.
Do you think Forest will fall away?
I think Forest will. They've got a tough run of games coming up now. I think they've got Arsenal. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they've got Newcastle, City, Arsenal, one after each other. I think in whatever order.
Nuno's done a great job.
He's done a great job with them, yeah. And but if they lose like 3 or 4 on the trot like that, that gives a chance for a lot of the teams below them to kind of overtake them or catch up. Yeah. But they're doing really well. They're doing really well.
Going back to Costa Pogle, you've got the foundations in place. He just needs to win top Spurs.
He just needs to be. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. He's changing the mind. He needs. I think a lot of this will be solved if he just gets, because when we've fielded a proper 11 who aren't injured or half fit, we've been a match for pretty much every team in the country. We've not necessarily beaten them, but we've only lost to them by the odd goal, and we've outperformed on XG and the underlying stats and XYZ. It all falls apart as soon as we get a few injuries because we haven't got the squad depth. He hasn't been given the squad depth.
We need more strength in depth as well.
Yeah. Well, a lot of teams do really. With how much football they're playing now, but if he's given if we get another centre back in the summer and a couple of other positions covered, I think he's the right manager because he plays the Tottenham way. He the philosophy of the club about attacking free-flowing football. You couldn't have picked a better manager for that in terms of philosophy and mentality. And I still back him. He gets a lot of criticism, but I think you've got to see it in context. Yeah, the league form is rubbish, but like I said, I think a lot of the players have just checked out of the league now. I think they're like, okay, we're not going to get relegated. Let's just make sure we don't pick up too bad an injury, and just let's see what we can do in the cups. Get the monkey off our back, try and win a cup, and just give 110% in all the cup games.
I'll tell you what, that Brentford game, that could be a turning point.
Well, yeah. I think we could look back to it and just think we dug deep, kept a clean sheet. That's 2 clean sheets on the trot. I know Elfsborg at home, you should be keeping a clean sheet against, but you still had to do it. And we did that on Thursday and then did it again. And all the talk was Brentford's had a week off. They're playing at home. They're the best attacking team at home. Jamie Carragher saying, if Tottenham don't concede 3 today, I'll be shocked. And we went there, got 2 goals against them and kept a clean sheet. And like you say, it could be a turning point for us. We could use it. We're getting players back. We brought a couple of players and we're getting a couple of players back now, hopefully next week. We should just get stronger from here, hopefully. And also, the benefit of the injuries has been that a couple of the young players have really shone, and they'll come out the team when the other players come back. But it means that when we bring them back in, they'll be battle scarred and prepared. And it also means the injured players who are coming back have had plenty of rest. Like Maddison's out now, for example. He picked up a knock, but when he comes back, he should be fit and fresh. Same as Solanke. I know Solanke will be recovering, but for the last few games of the season, which could be semi-finals and cup finals,
Yeah.
a lot of those players on our team will have they won't have a lot of game time in their legs, if you know what I mean. So they should be fairly fresh, playing against players who have got 60 games in their legs, if you know what I mean. So you'd like to think that might count for something.
With Spurs, they need stability on a long-term plan.
Oh yeah. That's been one of my arguments against sacking Ange, because I just think you can't just keep chopping and changing. You've got to, just give it a go. Like, because we've been here before, like Conte, Jose, others, Pochettino. As soon as it turns bad, you fire them, and it kind of lets Levy off the hook. It gives them another 18 months to say, oh well, we've got a new manager, things have changed, it's all different now, we're backing him. We've got our Tottenham back and all that kind of thing, and then it's rinse and repeat, and it all starts all over again. I think you've just got to see a project through fruition. I shared something online on Twitter, on X the other day.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta, he's Arsenal, so I don't want to talk about them too much. But I think in his second season, he'd got 1 win in 10.
Yeah.
I think 7 losses, 2 draws, and a win. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans will say that they're happy they kept him. What's his name? Pep Guardiola. He just lost 9 in 13. He picked up a couple of injuries. I know he's got a lot of credit in the bank, but the point is it happens. And same with Klopp as well. When Klopp was at Dortmund, I think in his last season there, they were bottom. They picked up a few injuries, and they were bottom of the Bundesliga in March. And relegation, you're talking about Tottenham possibly being relegated this season. We're 10 points clear of the relegation. So Dortmund were bottom at this time of the year. So, and that was under Klopp, and they kept.
The thing is that with football, it changes so quickly.
Exactly. Like, if we win tonight, tactical masterclass. I'm not saying it will happen. I hope it does. But if we win, we could lose tonight, and we could lose to you guys on Sunday, and it will be doom and gloom again. But it's a 2-horse race, isn't it? And we're 1-0 up tonight, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we win and go through to a final. We've had a couple of good results against you guys recently, our last 2 fixtures. So if we just repeat that on Sunday, or do something similar, or eke out a 1-0 win, that's 2 cup wins. We're through to the next round and through to a final next round, going well in the Europa Cup.
Things look better then.
It looks like a wonderful season then. The league for you. Take your eyes off the league a little bit. But we're going well in 3 cup competitions, knocked out another good team in the FA Cup, if it happens, obviously. And you're starting to see the draw open up a little bit then, and you're thinking, well, a cup treble is unlikely, but you never know.
What if you're not on Sunday?
we'll have to see. I have to say I do like Aston Villa. Like, I know rival fans and all that, but I've got no bad blood with them. There was a bit of online kind of back and forth with what's his name? What was your right back?
Matty Cash.
Cash, yeah. When he took out Bentancur, there was a bit of like online hate towards him from the Tottenham fan base. I think he played up to it a little bit, but other than that, I think it's been quite friendly between the 2 clubs really over the years.
Well,
There's no local rivalry or anything.
So Aston Villa and Tottenham. What have you mind about their windows?
I think we were probably the 2 busiest clubs in many ways, weren't we? I think your window. If I if I look at your window first, you picked up. I think Marlin's a good signing. We talked about him earlier. He's an exciting attacking player. I think he can play fullback as well, can't he? Or have I
He's
got that wrong?
versatile.
Yeah, he can play all over the place. And those sorts of footballers are really good for the squad. And he's like he's a talent, and obviously coming from a foreign league, so it might
Good on place.
it might take him a bit of time to adapt, but he's looking quite good so far. Asensio is obviously, a lot of the glory days are his best days possibly behind him, but he's still got that quality. Really, he never really
29,
loses.
I think, now.
Yeah, so he's not an old man, is he? So I think he played a lot when he was younger, so he's probably got a lot of games in his legs, but he'll still add a lot of quality to your team. It could, he's one of those signings which it could go a bit pear-shaped. It's a bit of a risk, but I would be excited. I would be excited if Tottenham signed him. I'd think, well, maybe like a 21-year-old, hotshot 21-year-old or a 19-year-old like we got might be better for us and our long-term plan and what we need right now. But I certainly wouldn't be upset with a signing like that. If I was a Villa fan, I'd be excited about it. And Marcus Rashford, Marcus Rashford, you should be excited about as well, because he's got something to prove. I always want I like players with something to prove, if you know what I mean. So I think he's got a bad rep under Ruben Amorim, and he might be wanting to stick it to him a little bit, if you know what I mean. So and I think if he does, exactly, he's a good man manager, Emery, isn't he? So I think if he shines for you, it could be like make your season, and I think he knows that if he fails at Villa, he'll kind of lose a bit of the what's a lot of the neutral fans willing to give him a bit of it's a difficult situation at Man U. It's better that he gets out of it. If he fails at Villa, then it will kind of the blame will start to go on him a little bit more, if you know what I mean. So
his career.
Yeah. I think they'll be thinking, well, where's your career going? So I think he knows that, and he needs to perform. And I hope for your guys' sake, I hope he works hard in training and performs on the pitch. Not on Sunday, but the rest of the season.
Yeah, and also with the attack, with these new signings, it gives more options.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And it freshens it up. Then you always say, attack is the best form of defence.
Yeah, and if it's 1-1 and you're bringing Rashford and Asensio off the bench, that's got to be a good thing, doesn't it? So if they're not starting, I don't know if they'll start, but at the very least, if they're coming off the bench, that gives you options. If they're starting on the pitch, then you'll have other good players on the bench that would have started otherwise.
And the thing that I'm glad about, we saw in the centre back, which we needed.
Yeah, Tottenham tried to hijack that deal several times, but he was quite keen to go to Villa by the sounds of it. He won't play on Sunday, as you've just told me. I didn't know that, but
the thing is as well, without Diego Carlos, because he went for the back try, so Mings got injured.
Yeah.
So it was important.
Yeah, they're two good centre backs, aren't they? So, look, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of Axel Disasi. I didn't really want Tottenham to sign him when we were interested in him, but ultimately, you don't play for Chelsea and have Villa and Tottenham trying to sign you unless you're a decent player. Really,
there's a reason.
So there must be quality there, and he was very good. When Chelsea signed him, they were really happy with him, really happy to get his signature. But every time I've watched him play, he hasn't played that well. But there's a lot of players over the years at Chelsea that haven't played well, and that doesn't mean they're bad players, if you know what I mean. Salah bombed out there, for example. So.
And Emery and Monchi, it's a really clever move. With the loan deals,
Oh yeah.
it's very
Well,
smart
you
move.
guys, you do have a PSR problem, don't you? Because I think your wage to
Yes.
revenue ratio was about 96% or something like that in the last financial year. And I think if it had remained like that, you wouldn't be in the Champions League this season because they wouldn't permit you to play. So obviously, it must have come down by about 20%, but it's still pretty high, isn't it? So I think that's why you had to sign.
Going away a bit now.
Yeah, you're working on it to get that salary ratio down, and also to balance out the fees. I think that's why you sold Duran for big money and brought in two loan attackers in Rashford and Asensio. So which is good business because John Duran wasn't starting every game, was he? So
Well, I did see this season that we were 20th in the most best revenue generating clubs.
right.
Sustainably.
Yeah.
So it's going well, PSR troubles.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, 96% wage to revenue. You're not allowed to play in European competition, so it must have come down to 70 something. I think 76% is the threshold. I don't know if that applied this season or applies next season, but it's around about that figure now. So you must have shaved quite a bit off your salary last summer, and you would have done a bit more in this window, I think.
I'm about to ask you, as a Tottenham fan, how would you rate your transfer window out of 10?
Marking it out of 10 is quite difficult because everything. I think it's same as last summer. Really, if we look at last summer, I really loved all the players we bought. It was too little, too late, and we left the squad short. And a lot of the Tottenham fans, including myself, said that at the time, and we were proved right, as we often are. So if you give it a bad score, like 2 out of 10 last summer, for example,
yes,
that's kind of saying you don't like Archie Gray, Lucas Bergville, but that's not true. We do like them, but it's just we didn't get the extra centre back, we didn't get the extra winger that we needed, and so on and so forth. And so if we look at this window, on the face of it, you think, well, we brought in a goalkeeper, a really good goalkeeper by the looks of things, a young goalkeeper. We brought in a centre back, a quality centre back, who suits the Ange Postecoglou system perfectly. He's quick.
And then Matthias Tell.
And Matthias Tell is one of the most exciting talents in Europe. Yeah. So on the face of it, that's like 3, and we also signed 4 promising youth products as well.
We know Villa.
Yeah.
We were interested in him.
Yeah. And so on the face of it, you're thinking, well, yeah, 4 really good young players plus 3 for the academy, plus 3 really good quality first team additions. That's 7 players there, 3 of which are very good and can play in the first team tonight. But we left it all too late. We needed another centre back. Now that we've lost Dragusin for the season, he's out with an ACL. We needed that second centre back, which we didn't get. We didn't bring in Danzo until the last. We lost all our league games in January. So if we'd brought in Danzo, I think Danzo would have come 1st of January if we had made a bid. And also Mark Gahey, we bid 70 million on the last day for him, or the night before the last day. I think, again, Crystal Palace are never going to sell him because they've got an injury crisis at centre back and he's their captain, and they've got no time to replace him. But if we made that bid on 1st of January, he might have arrived. I think we would have made the deal. So we wouldn't have lost to Ipswich, and we wouldn't have lost to Leicester either, I don't think. We would have probably had better games against Arsenal and who else? The other team we lost to, Newcastle, I think it was. And so that's 4 games we lost, 4 league games we lost in January, which if we'd brought in those signings on 1st of January or been a bit more decisive and a bit more ambitious, we'd be far further up the table by now, and probably like round about where you are, or chasing you guys down and looking at potentially European qualification through the league. So we've left it all too late, and we didn't get that centre back because we left it too back.
Yeah.
That second centre back, and that's why we might have to go with Gray and Ben Davies tonight. The team's been announced. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll have a look.
No,
I
got one more question.
Sure.
So with Aston Villa's Premier League form dipping at the moment, do you think Champions League football, with all that going on, do you think Unai Emery will take it seriously in the FA Cup?
Oh yeah, I think
A
so.
form dip to the Premier League?
Possibly, but you've got a good break. You've had a week off, haven't you? And you've avoided the knockouts in the around the knockouts in the Champions League. Don't think you're playing for another week. I think there's a couple of more weeks coming up, aren't there? Where I think there's an international break. So you've got, because this is, I'm only saying this because this is what Ange Postecoglou's been saying as well. He's saying, look, we haven't got that extra knockout round. We've got a couple of 3 weeks coming up soon, so that'll do us good. So that applies to you as well. And you're not in the Carabao. The Champions League's a month away, isn't it? Yeah. So you've only got the FA Cup and the league now to focus on, and so I think you'll go with a strong team on Sunday. I think you will prioritise it. I hope you don't. I hope you rotate. The players are told to go easy, but I think you'll go in strong on Sunday. I think there's and also like Emery's a cup manager, isn't he? So he's very good at
his record.
Yeah,
record.
He's made finals. He's won a lot. And also, he got Arsenal to people forget he got Arsenal to a Europa League final, didn't he? So
he did.
And not many managers have done that.
And the Europa League, he's won that competition 4 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, I think that's why PSG got him, because they wanted him to win them the Champions League, didn't they? They thought, well, we'll get the manager that wins stuff in Europe, so they appointed him, but. PSG's a basket case of a club, so yeah, Villa. I think Villa will do well in all the cups. I think with them.
Emery. He's always wants to be competitive. He's hungry for success.
Yeah.
And I think I'll say at the moment though is we've got a very small squad. So hopefully the new transfers it'll help us. The squad's getting a bit thin now, I think.
Yeah. Who will you have at centre back? Who are you going to have at centre back on Sunday, do you think?
On Sunday? Well, in this Archie's Cup tie. Pretty Bogard. Maybe Bogard.
Okay, that might be an opportunity for Tottenham to exploit then, possibly.
You think with Kamara? Been playing him at centre back. Against Wolves, it didn't work at all.
No, you've got a bit of a problem there, haven't you? So that's what I'm thinking. Like there could be a lot of goals on Sunday, but depends. I'm praying Van der Ven's back fit for Sunday, but I'll feel confident if that's the case. And if you're missing a couple of centre backs there and you're playing a makeshift central defensive partnership, I think our pace, Matthias Tell. He will almost certainly start on Sunday if he doesn't start. If he's got
explosive pace.
Yeah, he's a great young talent he is. So excited to see him in action tonight.
Well, I think with Emery, he'll still prioritise the Premier League and Champions League, but hopefully have a good cup run as well.
Yeah. I think you've got the league and the FA Cup to focus on now. You can park the Champions League for a little while now and just concentrate on the cup, on the FA Cup and the league. You're playing once a week, and you can get through. If you beat us on Sunday, you can concentrate on just playing one game a week, mixing the league and the cup. Hopefully, Tottenham can get the result, but we'll see.
A lot of Tamworth fans. Tamworth, those supporting Villa.
Yeah, no doubt. But
Don't forget revenge.
yeah, yeah. That was a crazy game, but
What's your score prediction?
I think there could be a lot of goals. It could be like if we've got Van der Ven back, I'm a bit more confident of keeping the clean sheet. We've just kept 2 clean sheets. But we could play tonight and lose another 3 or 4 players. Oh, hang on, I'm just seeing the team now. So Danzo's starting,
Yes.
and Tell is on the bench. So our new centre back is starting at centre back. It looks like Porro's been rested, which is a bit of a shock. Yeah, which is a bit of a surprise. So, but yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about Archie Gray at fullback myself. I think that's a bit. I think that's an unnecessary risk. I don't know if there's an injury to Porro or he's just too knackered or something. But don't play him for 2 hours against Tamworth if he's knackered. So I'm a bit worried there. But we'll see. But it's good. It'll be good to see our new signing at centre back. And maybe that'll be enough, and then Tal off the bench.
On Sunday, I'm going to be 3-2 to Villa.
Yeah, I think it could be 3-2 either way. 3-2 either way. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to be confident and go 3-1 Tottenham.
Okay. well, you've been a great guest.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed chatting to you.
Happy to do it again, maybe next season.
Yeah.
Champions League final next season.
That's what I say as well. And good luck for tonight.
Yep. Thank you very much. And good luck for Sunday, but not too much luck, hopefully.
Well, I'm going to bring this episode to a close. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please remember to make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Make sure to give this podcast a like. Give it a share. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoy this podcast, give us a good review on audio platforms, including Spotify and Apple. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm going to wrap up this episode with Villa Forever and Up the Villa.